Alright, today we had round 2 of the Road to Las Vegas Excel competition. This was called Memory Game by Emils, so it was basically a grid of cards and players take turns turning them over to try and make pairs, and they remember where old cards are. So if they flip an apple card over, then an orange card over, they'll remember where they are for if they ever flip an apple and orange again, so it's quicker for them to match something. So let's do it. The only setup I will do is just to call this grid, so that's Alt F3, let's call it GD for grid. And the first question is which symbol only has one matching pair on the grid. So I'm just going to say equals most of GD, so that's just a group by lambda, and the one at the bottom I can see only has one pair, so 2 of those exist, which is this trophy here. I'll come back to this because it relies on a question, but we'll do bonus 3. Which symbol would you encounter for the first time if you went through the grid left to right, top to bottom? So I basically want to know where I find these, so I'm going to say X match all of these things in 2col of my grid, and I want to look for the largest one there. So I have a lambda that does that. You could do this in many ways, but I could just say biggest from this range, give me this symbol, and it will give me the trophy again. Okay, how many matching pairs can be found if you remove every other column from the grid, so only keep the odd numbered columns? So the way I normally do this is to say choose cols of the grid, and which ones do I want? I want a sequence of every odd number, basically. So let's do columns of the grid over 2, that's how many I want. And I want to start at 1 and take steps of 2. So if I do that, I'll get every kind of other column out of the grid. So if I just show you what this sequence looks like underneath by highlighting here, you'll see it just is a sequence of odd numbers. And that's basically it. So I want to know how many pairs are here. So I can say most of again to get kind of a frequency table. And I basically want to divide all of these numbers by 2, and where it's odd, just ignore the 0.5 basically. So if I just do that over 2, you'll see it halves everything. These become errors, but that doesn't matter. And then I can say integer of that, and here's all the numbers of how many pairs there are. So there are 214 pairs. So 214. So now let's do the questions. How many of each of the symbols appear on the grid? That's just a counting. So we can say count if grid says all these things. Next up, which symbol appears in the given cell? So you could use an indirect here. I have an alternative, which is a non-volatile version, so addressed contents of all this stuff on the grid. That's doing the same as the indirect formula. Level 3, we have one player turning over the cards and looking for where they're a pair. I'll do this in a data table just to show how it's kind of working, but you can do it single cell quite easily. So you're essentially going to do wrap rows of this by 2, and that's going to give you all the pairs, and I can just say does this equal this, and there you go. You'll get trues or falses if you have a match, and you want to do sum of minus minus that just to turn those trues and falses into 1s and 0s. So there's 4 matches. We can run a data table on that, and that should be question 3 done. We can also do this bonus up here now. So which symbol never gets matched across the games? So I can just say if this and give me this, otherwise give me a blank, so otherwise give me a blank. There we go, so that's all of the symbols matched. So I can just say concat this, let's then do it again, concat this, and that's going to give us, you know, all of it. I can then come back here to my grid working sheet, and I can just say find all of this text in this string, and it will tell me at what number position it appears. I can see there's an error down here because it doesn't appear, so it's this pizza one. Okay, next up, when looking at the grid going from top to bottom, which row can you find the given symbol? So I'm going to say xlookup this in here and give me the symbol. And I basically want to find where these are in the grid. So I have a lambda that's called find in map. Find this in the grid, and it will tell me all the addresses where it exists. So I can just say at row num of that, which will give me the row number. To show you how that's working, I have a tutorial video on this, but it's basically, I'll show you in a second. So I'm basically flattening the grid. I'm saying equals 2col of this, and then I'm saying equals 2col of this and this. That gives me all the addresses. Let's zoom in so you can actually see it. I'm saying filter these addresses where this first column is this item. And that's how I get all the addresses out for where things are in a map. That's what the lambda's doing. Okay, now there's one player playing the game. This is a bit like the bonus we did. How many pairs do they match if they grab this intersection? So I'll just use indirect for this one. So I want to do indirect of somewhere on the grid. Let's just put that in quotation marks. And then I want to change this bit to what's asked in the question. So I'll just pull out that part of the grid. And then I can say most of. There we get how many there are. So again, we want to divide by 2 and take the integer part. So integer of that over 2. And I just want to sum these up, basically. Sum if error, let's give us 0. And just fix that asterisk, and we should be done. Okay, level 6 and 7 get a little tricky because you kind of need to build a model. So level 6, let's do it with a data table again over here. So example 6. And I'm actually going to go from the first game because the example is a shorter subset of items and we want them all to be the same size. So whenever I have a model, I like to build out everything, kind of a column for everything you need to calculate. So first of all, let's figure out what cards they turn over. So say wrap rows of this, comma 2. The first 2 things are like their favorite items. So let's just do over here somewhere P1 favorite and P2 favorite. So P1's favorite is this, P2's favorite is this. So we want to do player, is it a match? Let's first start there, player 1, is it a match? We're going to say equals this, and let's do a minus minus just to make it cleaner. So the rules are, if it's a match, so if this, the cards match, then the player goes again, otherwise something else. So let's just make a player list here. This is just how I like to do it. And I do it like this just in case the case was to bring in 3, 4, 5 players. I can just extend my list and it's easy. So I can say if that, then it's this, otherwise X lookup this player in here and give me here, and there we go. So let's pull those down. Now the tricky thing is if it's a match and it's the favorite item, then they get double points. So let's say double points, it actually doubles their whole score, cumulative score up to that point. So let's calculate this for player 1. So I'm going to say if this equals 1 times this. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me a number if it's player 1 and a match. So if that's true, then we want to know does, so minus minus this equal this. And then otherwise, if we'll do the same for player 2, so that stuff, if G5 is player 2 and it's a match, then is the match player 2's favorite item. Otherwise, it's not double the score. So I can see I haven't actually locked the cells, so let's just lock the favorite items there. That's going to be these 2. So check if we get any other doubles. So we get a double here on player 1, and that's it. And then let's do the cumulative scores. So player 1's and player 2's. So this is player 1 score, this is player 2 score. I'm going to say if this equals this, so if it's player 1, then it's going to be whether we matched plus the existing score, and then we're going to do a times if it's double score, then 2, otherwise 1. So we times it by 2, the entire cumulative score so far, if we matched on our lucky item. And if it's not any of that stuff, then it's just the score from before. So that's the cumulative score, and then we can do the same for player 2. So let's just put the formula in here and just move these things across to player 2, like so, and we should be good to go. Then we just want to know the differential in score. So it's going to be absolute difference between this and this. And hopefully that is right. Okay, and level 7 is kind of really the real question of the case. Player 1 will turn 2 cards over. If they match, great. If not, player 2 remembers what they are. So on their first card turnover, if they match something that's kind of in the bank of memory, then they can go and find it and match the second card easily. So let's just build a fresh model for this. So let's do example 7 and 121. Again, I'm going to start with all the data because the example's shorter. So this is kind of the order of all the cards that get turned over. So let's say text split this on a comma, and that will give us those. We can then do our whole address to contents of that on the grid. So that gives us all the things. And then I'm going to build the model like so. So let's just say player. Whenever I try and build a model, I try and build it in the logical order of what happens. So a player goes and they try and match 2 cards. The first thing they'll do before they kind of flip any card over is check if there's any duplicate cards in the memory bank, because they would turn those over first. So let's say dupes in bank, and then they're going to choose their first card, so card 1, and then they're going to check if card 1 is in the bank, so in bank, and then they're going to pick card 2. So if card 1 is in the bank, they'll pick it from the bank, otherwise they'll flip a card. And then we need to check if it's a match, and then we need to know what's in the bank. So let's just start building this out. Let's say sequence of, I know there's 900 cards, so I'm just going to do 900, and actually that's it. I'm just going to do mod of that -1, 2, +1. I think that's the way around it is. That will give me 1, 2 repeating. So that's the players. So for models, we'll model the first turn, and then the second one will be the complicated one that I should be able to drag down to everything. So there's not going to be any duplicates in the bank on the first turn because there isn't a bank. Let's center all this. Card 1 is always going to be this. In the bank is always going to be blank on the first go. Card 2 is always going to be this. Do they match? That's going to be equals this, equals this. Let's wrap it in minus minus so it's clean. And then the bank is going to be if there's a match, then it's blank. Otherwise, I'm going to concatenate this and this. So there's my bank. Now I want to know actually how many cumulative matches there are, because when I'm taking stuff out of the bank, I want to know, what card is next in the running list. So I want to know how many cards have been used throughout the game, so I can eliminate those from here and pick the next one when I need to draw. So let's just do cumulative matches for a second. So T matches, so that's total matches, and it's going to be start at 0, and it's going to be this. Then let's do cards in bank. And that's like number of cards in the bank, because that's going to determine where we are as well. I'm going to say cards used. So number of cards in the bank. I'm actually going to split the bank out here at the end as well. Bank split out. So to do that, because a lot of these emojis are like length 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to say reg extract from here \X and give me all of them, and that will split all of the things out so I can match on them, check duplicates and stuff like that. And cards in the bank can be columns of that, and the cards used is going to be the total number of matches times 2, because they're matched in pairs, plus how many cards are still in the bank. And one thing I'm just going to do as well is in formulas I'm going to put compatibility mode to version 2, just in case these emojis mess me up anywhere. So I have a lambda that will pull out duplicates. If I do that here, we'll find which items appear more than once. That's just kind of looking at what's unique and taking everything out that's not. So if I say duplicates of this, it will say no duplicates. So I should probably change that to an error, but I'm going to say if that equals no duplicates, do 0, otherwise do 1. And I'll need to put an @ symbol on that, I think, because if there are duplicates, it will come out as an array, so I'll get an array of 1s, and I don't want that. So the first card is going to be if there's duplicates in the bank, then it's going to be what those duplicates are. So I'm going to say duplicates of this, and I want to take the first one of those. So I'm going to say at duplicates of that. If there's no duplicates in the bank, then I'm going to take from this pile. So I'm going to say index that on how many cards we've used so far, +1. So we take a heart next. Now in the bank, so is the heart in the bank, I'm going to say exists this. It's another lambda which is doing is number X match. So exists that in the bank, and that's going to give me a true or false, so it's not in the bank. So card 2, I'm going to say if it's in the bank, then card 2 is this. Actually, I'll do my duplicates first. So I'm going to say if there was duplicates in the bank, then it's this. Otherwise, if it's in the bank, then it's this. Otherwise, it's index this on how many cards we used plus 2. There we go. The match will be the same. And then the total matches is going to be whether it's a match plus how many we had before. And then in my bank is going to be reasonably simple, I think. So I'm going to say if there's duplicates in the bank, then substitute what was in there. The old text is, you know, what we match on, and the new text is blank. Otherwise, if this is in the bank, then it's going to be the same thing. So I'm going to substitute from here this. I could have done this in one. Bit of a formula, to be fair, but it doesn't matter. Otherwise, if it's a match, then it means the 2 cards are used and it's going to be what was in the bank before. Otherwise, finally, it means it's not a match, so I need to concatenate, so I need to add to the bank these 2 cards. Great, then I think I missed some locking here, so I just need to lock this index here. Cards in the bank should be the same once I pull that down. Cards used should be the same. And then there we go. Hopefully this is it. I mean, I've only tested this once. Looks like it sort of works. We get some errors there. So I only care about errors on the match at the moment. So I'm just going to say if error, then it's not a match. And then at the end, we should get cards used being 900. And then basically I should be able to get my answer. So all I need to do is count how many matches the given player had. So let's say equals sum ifs the matches where the player is the right of this times 1. And let's see if that gets us all the right answers. Looks like something. Let's see. Ah, 1 wrong. That's strange. 132. Let me check that. Ah, so I have an error in the bank split out because there's nothing there. So I'm just going to say if that equals blank, do blank, otherwise that. Ah, and now my card's used at the start is saying 3, but that always needs to be 2. So if I change that to 2, then yes, this should be all the right answers. Good. And then the final bonus is how many frogs did player 1 collect across all games? So how many frogs did player 1 collect? Let's do, put that back to 121, because I think there's a frog at the top if I remember rightly, yes. So I want to do this equals 1, so the player is 1, and this equals the frog, and let's just hard code that. I know there's errors in there as well, so I'll fix that in a minute. And what else is it? And this is a match. This, that should be it, times that. And then if I change this frog thing to be if error blank, if error blank, drag that down, just get rid of this data table, we should just be able to sum that up. So sum that, and that will be how many frogs player 1 got. There we go. So the sum of these is 88. So that should be that bonus. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.